Go ahead and take out this paper called Addition and Subtraction Multi-Step. We're going to be looking at number 2. At the top, go ahead and write, "Are you reading closely and looking?" Let's go ahead and circle the question mark and underline the sentence. It says, which equation can be used to show how many collector cards he has left? Cross off the R and the U, and now let's read the details. It says, Stephen has 127 collector cards. If you don't know what collector cards are, they're just cards of something that you can collect, like baseball cards or Pokemon cards. So it says he bought 179 more collector cards, and then he gave 35 of them to his friend. So let's cross off the R, and now let's start circling some clues. So I know this problem is about Stephen. I know he has 127 of these collector cards. That's a lot of cards. And I know that he bought 179 more. Bought means got. Then he gave 35 of them to his friend. So if he gives some away, it's going to be going away. It's going to be separated. And we need to figure out which equation, which of these number sentences, go ahead and circle that and write number sentences. Which number sentence can be used to show how many collector cards he has left? So now that we've gotten through the circling the clues and labeling, let's go ahead and figure out what time it is. What time is it? It's 3-step time. So let's draw our 3-step. What are we going to do first in our 3-step? The main idea. It's going to say which equation can show how many cards he has left. And now I'm going to ask, what do you know? Well, I know that Stephen had 127 collector cards. I'm going to use these counters to represent what's going on in the problem. So these are his 127 collector cards. And then he bought 179 more collector cards. So if he bought 179 more, does he have more or does he have less? He has more. So right now we just join those two numbers together. That's how we're going to represent that in our strip diagram. Let's go ahead and start labeling our strip diagram. Tell me, who is this problem about again? Well, it's about Stephen. And I know that he had some cards, some collector cards. So let's draw a strip. I know that first he had 127, but then he bought 179 more cards. Right now, I don't know what the total is, but I can go ahead and match this strip diagram up with something on my action poster. If you take out your action poster, I notice that it matches with joining because the two numbers are coming together to make a total. These two numbers are joining together to make a total. Well, we need to figure out what the total is, and to get there, we need to be adding because that's the operation word for joining. So let's draw our addition symbol here as a clue to help us. And let's go down here in our strategy section and go ahead and add 127 and join 179 with that. Remember that we start in the ones place. These numbers are pretty big, so let's go ahead and take the bigger number and put it in our head. Grab the 9, put it in your head. Say 9. Hands off. You're going to count on 7 more. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So let's regroup that. The 1 and the 2 make 3, and 7 more. Let's grab the big number 7, put it in your brain, say 7, and count on 3, 8, 9, 10. Let's regroup that. 1 and 1 make 2, and 1 more make 3. So that's 306. That's 306 total collector cards that he has. So I need to put that where my question mark is. But that's not all, because remember, we need to be answering whatever the main idea says. It says which expression shows how many collector cards he has left. So we're not done with the story, because all we did was we got through how he had 127 cards, and then he bought 179 more cards. Then he gave 35 of these cards to his friend. So from all of these 306 cards that he has now, he gave some of them to his friend. And the action there was separating. I just separated some so he could give them to his friend. And that's the same action that's going to be represented on a strip diagram. So let's figure out how we can show that. So who is the problem about again? Well, it's still about Steven. What does he have? Well, he still has his collector cards. And this bar represents how many total cards he has. How many total cards does he have? Well, we already figured out it was 306. But remember that he gave some of those away to his friend. So I'm going to take a part of that 306, I'm going to circle it, and I'm going to draw an arrow going away, because we're separating that out so we can give that to his friend. He gave 35 to his friend. And I'm going to label that with gave. Now, whatever is left is going to be over here on this side. Right now, we don't know how many are left, so let's draw a question mark right there. And let's just label that left. Now we have to match up this strip diagram with something on our action poster. I noticed that our picture has a circle around a number and that it's being separated away from the total. So let's see which one has the circle and an arrow going away. Oh, here, it's separating, matches with separating, and the operation for that is subtraction. So let's go ahead and draw our subtraction symbol off to the side so that we know what to do. Okay, so down here, I'm going to solve that in my strategy section. Remember that when you take away from your total. So we need to start from our total number. Our total number was 306. And we need to take away or separate 35. Remember that we start in the ones place. Okay, what has more, the top or the floor? The top. No need to stop. Do you have 6 fingers? Yes. So 6. And now take away 5 fingers. How many are left? 1. Now over here, what has more, the top or the floor? Well, the floor, so we have to go next door and get 10 more 10s over here in the tens place. So we need to borrow from the hundreds. If I borrow 100, how many hundreds do I have left? 2. And if I bring the 100 over here, how many 10s does that trade for? 10. So now I have 10, take away 3. Do you have 10 fingers? Yes. Let's take away 3. How many are left? 7. Now 2 take away nothing is 2. So we had 271 collector cards that were left. And that goes in this section of my strip diagram. Now honestly, you didn't have to go through all of the algorithms here, because over here they don't want to know what the answer is, what the final answer is. What they want to know is how to get to the answer. So let's take a look at what we did. We added and then we subtracted. So we're probably going to have to be looking for a number sentence that shows adding and subtracting. But let's take a closer look at the numbers. A says 179 joined with 127. Did we join 179 and 127? Yes. It doesn't matter which one goes first. So I'm going to put a check mark right there. And then it says 127. Oh, and then after you do that, you have to take away 35. After we did that, did we take away 35? Well, yes, we did. So let's put a check mark over there. Okay, let's go to B. B says 179 joined with 127. Yes, we actually did join those numbers. So let me put a check mark. And then it says we added 35. Did we add 35? No, we did not. So that's an X. B is wrong. C, 179 separate 127. No, we did not separate those numbers. We joined them. So that one's wrong. And no, again, we did not separate those numbers. And the 35 is not even in there. So D is wrong. And that's why A is our answer.